Ever since we let a Red Sox fan be mayor, New York City has been cursed. Take one step outside your apartment and you'll be greeted with random battle encounters, scooters flying like kamikaze missiles into the intersection, kids who don't know how to read, and that's not even the stupidest thing about them, and the police simultaneously doing nothing and too much. Above all, the worst thing about New York City right now is that it's increasingly hard for anyone who hasn't sold their soul to justify the extortion known as rent. New York City used to be a place you could go to if you were a broke motherfucker from Ireland. Now the only thing that's going to be broke here is your will to live. Your typical starter pack apartment that costs $1,500 in any other mid-sized American city costs anywhere from double to quadruple that in New York. New York City is so fucking expensive now, even the gentrifiers are getting gentrified. All the rich but not that rich people who can no longer afford Manhattan are moving to Park Slope. All the hipster sellouts who can no longer afford Park Slope are moving to Williamsburg, and all the stand-up comedians and yoga girlies who can no longer afford Williamsburg are moving to Crown Heights. As a kid, I used to think gentrification was a good thing. My kid brain was like, what's so bad about cleaner streets and more bougie ice cream shops? Lately though, I've been feeling more and more like this city is cosplaying as itself. That it's full of delusional people who think it's a good idea to spend this much money trying to live out a fantasy they saw on TV. That hasn't been the reality of New York City for decades, if it ever was. That everything is Bushwick now, a parody of itself. All the punks, immigrants, and artists have long ago been replaced with corporate tech and marketing people and their help. As Commissioner Gordon probably once said, this city needs a hero. And would you look at that, how convenient, entering from stage right, the ubermensch himself, socialist Big Daddy, Zoran Mamdani. Zoran's big plan to save the city and the community center is a Robin Hood strategy. Take from the rich to give to the poor. Now there's lots of discussion about whether or not Zoran will actually be able to pull this off in the extremely just and fair system that is American politics, but in theory, I think this is a good idea. Oh no, Jeff Bezos will have to have a normal wedding, but we can fix 1 million potholes. Taxing the rich is like the easiest way to fix America's problems, but politicians are corrupt and would rather extract money from the working class. Anyway, based on whatever color underwear you wear, you either think Zoran is Obama for Gen Z or a communist sleeper agent. But even the biggest Zoran hater can't deny, he's got aura. 60% of why he's popular is because he's young and not ugly. If Brad Lander and Zoran swap platforms, y'all would still vote for Zoran. Don't lie, Sabrina Carpenter already exposed how horny y'all are. But aura without talent is just Kelly Oubre. I must disclose, I am a Zoran hater. I know, very blasphemous, feel free to fillet my balls, just make it quick. Zoran just reminds me of every charismatic Silicon Valley startup founder whose biggest technical skill is knowing how to make tables on Notion. It's just kind of funny to me to see a whole new generation get tricked by the whole "this politician sounds so honest and smiles a lot" thing. It's like y'all haven't seen Veep, bro. There's this narrative in big media or whatever that Zoran is a man of the people and his closest opponent, Andrew Cuomo, is paid for by billionaires. But if you look at the actual electoral data, in the Democratic Party primary, the poorest districts in New York City voted for Cuomo, and the richest districts in New York City voted for Zoran. More specifically, Zoran's electoral base comes from this area in Brooklyn and Queens across the river from Manhattan, a zone known colloquially as the place all the white people who are too poor to live in Manhattan are moving to. The list of neighborhoods Zoran won is literally just a list of gentrifying neighborhoods in New York. And even Zoran knows the optics of an Upper West Side Nepo baby being elected by a bunch of gentrifiers are bad, which is why in his Why We Won video, he doesn't mention Park Slope or Williamsburg, but instead cherry picks a bunch of small outer borough neighborhoods he won. Alright, let's just say the quiet part out loud. everyone in New York City, including myself, is dying to get their pitchforks out against the transplants. They all live in Bushwick, they're all from Ohio, and we all fucking hate them. If you start rubbing the old brain cells together, it's easy to come to the conclusion that the reason everything is so expensive is because demand far outstrips supply. And the reason demand is so high is because of all the transplants moving here, and before you know it, you're circle jerking in the New York Post comment section. It's a time-honored New York City tradition to blame transplants for all of our problems, though that doesn't mean it's right. After all, when Italian and Hispanic and Chinese immigrants moved here, everyone was like, these fucking transplants. And now, everyone loves pizza, everyone loves burritos, and everyone loves fried rice. It's beautiful, man. Before them, a bunch of colonizers from Europe came here and committed a horrible genocide. In comparison, if the worst thing modern transplants do is open up a bunch of sweet greens, I mean, it could be worse, I guess. Even the Native Americans who were here for thousands of years, technically transplanted here from across the land bridge across the Bering Strait. So, unless you're some ancient ass fish at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, you're not native to New York City. Invasive species make New York what it is. So I think it's fair to say that all the transplant hate is misplaced. Before the 21st century influx of transplants into Williamsburg and Bushwick, the 19th century opening of the Brooklyn Bridge led to a massive influx of transplants into the borough. In that sense, New York City is a story of gentrification, and trying to change that may be as futile as trying to change the direction of the tides. Anyway, I promised substance over Kelly Oubre, so let's talk details of Zoran's platform. Zoran's whole thing is that he's gonna make stuff cheaper, which I think further explains why he's so popular in these gentrifying neighborhoods. The locals who are getting gentrified would like shit to stop getting so expensive. And the gentrifiers who have to suffer the indignity of living in a less desirable Brooklyn or Queens neighborhood than their Manhattan counterparts get their very own subsidized, slightly shittier version of the American dream. Instead of a house they own, they will get frozen rent. Instead of a new car every year, they will get free buses. And instead of a single income stay-at-home wife household, they will get free childcare so both parents can be sacrificed at the altar of capitalism. I think my issue with Zoran's platform is that it's simultaneously too idealistic and not radical enough. What the hell do I mean by this? So let's start with why I think Zoran is too idealistic. Everyone on the Zoran train acts like his success as mayor is a foregone conclusion, but running the simulation for 8 million people is not an easy job, bro. But trash has to get picked up and people have to not get attacked in the street. And since those are things we're still trying to work all the kinks out on, it seems a little putting the cart before the horse to start trying to focus on free buses and free childcare. A lot of Zoran's ideas feel like they're not directed at helping the most New Yorkers, but exciting his political base. For example, let's take a look at his idea to make the buses free. I mean, the buses and subway are literally practically free already. Like, I'm telling you, you literally do not have to pay for the bus or subway. So once again, it seems a little backwards to me that at a time when subway infrastructure is crumbling and is basically 2 flashlights duct taped to a traffic cone, and people are afraid to take the subway because of, let's just say it, all the homeless people in the system, that Zoran's big ideas for the MTA are free buses and opening homeless outreach centers in the subway system. It's like, how long have you been living here, bro? You didn't catch on that idealism doesn't work here yet? The homies selling you water for $4 a pop learn that real quick. You better catch on. On the other hand, I think Zoran's platform isn't radical enough. Because if we're gonna say fuck the system, then fuck the system. Fuck making buses free, make fucking food free. With his election, capitalism has kind of been put on trial in a way that has never been before in the mainstream. And I feel like it's so fitting that the final battleground is New York City itself. New York is the endgame for every capitalist city. This giant, living, breathing manifestation of an idea and a way of life. Somehow, private property and profit led to this simulation. I could go on and on about all the structural deficiencies of this simulation. The transformation of housing from a vehicle to provide shelter to a vehicle to provide profit. The infinite growth and population and trash turned out on this finite island. The rat race and conspicuous consumption and antidepressants. But I think the heart of the issue is New York City's obsession with the hustle. In New York City, everyone learns to be selfish as fuck. The profit motive justifies everything, from charging $4 for a bottle of water, to $12 for a plate of halal, to $6,000 for a studio apartment, to $60,000 for that life-saving surgery. Everyone is always looking to get theirs, and the only way to get yours in this city is to be the bigger asshole. But I don't want to live around people like that anymore. Living in New York City is like all the worst parts about living with roommates. Except everyone forgot that the reason we're roommates is so we can engage in commerce and have a free society. And it doesn't have to be us chasing down squirrels to eat with our bare hands, butt-ass naked in loincloths, right? That's the reason we chopped down all the forests and polluted the world and built these concrete prisons. To be happy? I don't know, bro. It just makes me sad. I was born here. I lived the first 18 years of my life here. And I even came back. And it's like, I don't even know if this place is my home anymore. I don't know who to blame, who owns more blame than who else. It's like, it's just that I'm losing the one place I used to call home. And it doesn't feel like it has the same soul that it once did, and now it's just like Plato's cave version of what it used to be, and everyone is just kind of looking at the facade of what their idea of New York is, and it's just not the New York I knew. Maybe I'm a boomer, maybe I've got too much nostalgia, and maybe I just need to grow the fuck up and stop holding on to an idea of home that doesn't exist anymore. Can you fix that, Zoran? Stay safe, stay sane. I'll catch you next time. Peace!